So in the construction world, time really is money, and waiting for a customer to send a change order for something could delay work on a job site. You could be standing around with nothing to do. Maybe you've got something else you can do for a little bit, but you've got a kind of time deadline for when you need that change order so that you can avoid any kind of delays and standing time and that kind of thing. Um, and the problem with that is a lot of the time your customer is a professional, or they've got a team of professionals that's working on the projects, the architects and engineers and so on. And often they're working on multiple projects at a time, so they're not really doing things with as much haste as we would like them to. So that's why we've added this change order request form to our full user accounts. This is for full users because it's something that a field user would never really have to do. It's more for your estimators, project managers, company owners, and so on. So it's in the full user account. If you happen to use one user account for everything, then that's fine. But yeah, you will have to have a full user account in order to access this form. So like all of our other forms, your company and your logo information is set up over here. And since this is for full users, if you are an estimator, project manager, company owner, whatever, you would want to set up the company profile with your contact information. So your name, your email, and so on. Same goes for logo, obviously whatever your company logo is. And then you're going to get to the change order request information. And here you would have already set up the project, which would be set up in the my project section. And then you've got the client name, which is also the same thing. So you can just select those. You know, it's really simple. You set it up once and then you can reuse it on all the forms you need to do for that. So it's super easy. Change order number, we're just going to put a number in there. And then we've got a revision number in case you need one. I'm just going to put today's date. And then response required by date. This is kind of an important one because let's say you do have that situation where you have enough work to keep going for 2 or 3 days, but then you need to be able to have something else to move on to. So you need a response on this change order request as quickly as possible. So then you would go and set it up so that the required by date is over here. And when your change order is generated, it's going to specifically say that if you don't receive a response by that day, there may be additional costs and time implications. Now we've got the reason for change, and this is just the most common reasons, and it's quite general and quite broad. But I mean, this is going to cover 99% of situations that you're going to find yourself in. So let's just go change the specification. Design change to XYZ requires us to use ABC type widgets instead of CDE widgets, or whatever it is. This is just any kind of change, and very often it's not a change that seems huge. It's not a change that seems like it's a big money item, but even small changes, even just moving something from one place to another or changing the spec on something can have a big impact for ordering. It can have a big impact for productivity, for meeting your production schedules and all those kinds of things. So really, I feel like anything that changes on a job site will probably carry some kind of cost implication. And having been an estimator so long myself, I also know that leaving something out also has a cost implication. So you can't just say, oh, well, this thing was going to cost $5,000. We're not going to do it anymore. So now it's going to be a $5,000 saving, because maybe you have to do other things in order to leave that thing out. Or maybe you have to return materials and there's a restocking fee or something like that. So even an omission on a project is usually something that requires a change order. So now we're going to have a cost implication over here. So let's say $5,000. Cost implication unit of measure. So this again is what unit of measure is applied to this. I'm going to say lump sum because it's just a lump sum amount. So there we go. Time implication, let's say 2 to 3, and then we'll say down here weeks. And that's it. That's how quickly and easily I can generate a change order request. click the button, and it gives me that document that's completely ready to go. It's got my logo, it's got my company information, it's got the person that's going to automatically receive this as soon as it's generated right here. And then it's got all that information that we just put in here. And then it's also got the acknowledgement of acceptance, so that you would just send to your customer and say, look, we need this to be signed, and here it all says response is required by X date, and so on and so on and so on. So it's really simple to do this. It's really easy to build a change order request to suit 99% of situations. And even if you don't end up getting the amount that you're putting on your change order request, this is going to open the door to that conversation with your customer. And that's how we kind of avoid losses and things like that. As soon as you find out that there's something changing on a job site, don't wait for someone to give you a change order for it. Send the change order request so you start the paper trail.